Hey girl, welcome to a special episode of the Hey Girl podcast. I'm Donna H.e.y., your host. Today I'm finally getting the interview out with Taylor and Morgan Joyner. You're going to fall in love with these two. They are amazing young ladies, and we're going to be talking about adulting, growing up. I've known them since they were young, and they're going to be telling us some very wonderful things in this interview. We're going to be giving some HBCU love in this interview as well. But when I tell you some of the knowledge that these young ladies will be kicking out during this interview, you're going to love it. So keep it locked right here, and let's talk about adulting on the Hey Girl podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Hey Girl podcast. I'm your host, Donna H.e.y., and I am so excited today because I get to talk to two of my favorite girls right here. I mean, Taylor and Morgan. So welcome to the podcast. First of all, Taylor Joyner is 24 years old. She's living in D.C. now. She graduated from HBCU Howard University in the spring of 2021. And she currently works in advertising for a major news corporation. Woo woo, I'm so excited. Her passions include painting, jewelry making, dancing, and taking care of her plants. Welcome, Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and then we have her baby sister. She's not a baby, but we always call our younger sisters baby sister, so that's what Morgan is. And Morgan is currently a sophomore at the University of San Francisco. She is studying history in hopes of either becoming a history teacher or doing some work at a museum, being a curator at a museum. I love that. She loves to listen to music, crochet, dance, and laugh. And we're going to get into a lot of that. So let me tell everyone that I have known both of these beautiful young ladies since they were each in the seventh grade. So about 11 years old, 11, 12 years old is when I first met Taylor at the school, Fisher's Junior High, where I was teaching. And she was a part of my dance company that we had just started. So that was the first year, Taylor, that we had started the dance company when you started at the age of 11. And then here comes her baby sister coming along, and she tries out and she's like, you know what, I want to be a part of the dance company too. And then so got to know her, and she was a part of the dance company later on. And both of them were just very instrumental in helping the dance company be what it is. Taylor actually came back to help and teach after she left Fisher's Junior High. So all while she was in high school, she would come back and do choreography and work with our hard-headed dancers. And so so grateful for her. But now they are both adults, and I'm just in shock. I can't believe it, but they are. And so we are going to talk today about adulting and how it can be challenging, right? So, yeah, so first I want to start with you, Taylor. So talk to us a little bit about what you're doing now and how you're adjusting living in DC.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I'm working for a news organization now in advertising. In
Mhm.
line with my degree, I got my degree at Howard in advertising. So I was really fortunate to find a job in my field.
Mhm.
But since then, I've just been getting used to one, working full time, which is a whole thing in itself. I had no idea, like every single day. It's so crazy, but
To work every day. Isn't that
every
something?
day. Summer break, spring break, it's a thing of the past. So
Mm-hmm.
just getting used to that, just really trying to find my fitting as like a career person. And then also coming from an HBCU and being back into the real world, not a
Mm-hmm.
bubble anymore, has been a really big transition. But since I've been here for about 6 years now in DC, I feel like it's become like just a second nature, just kind of what I'm used to living in the city, coming from the suburbs. It's been a big adjustment, but it's been, I'd say I'm used to it now. It's kind of my new normal.
Yeah, yeah, because you went to school there. So the transition wasn't too hard because you were there for 4 years for college, and so then you're working there. So it's not as bad of a transition. But coming from Fishers, Indiana, going to Washington, D.C. is a jump. It's different.
Shock.
It's different. It is different. So, and then also coming from Fishers and going to an HBCU, which I think was a great choice because of coming from a predominantly white community, going to an all black university. Talk to me a little bit about that transition of being at a HBCU. Obviously, you loved it, but talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely hands down. I always say like the best decision I've ever made for myself.
Yeah.
And up until my senior year of high school, that wasn't even really like my plan at all. I just happened that year, all the stars aligned, and I happened to be assigned to the only Black high school counselor at the school. And
Wow.
she's the one that like planted the seed that I should like apply and like and then once I started learning more about it and I came to visit, I was like, okay, yes, this is what I've been missing. This is what I need. I need to be in a place where it's like diverse, but in a different kind of way. Like I'm not diverse because I'm Black, because I'm different. I'm in a crowd of people where we all have that same commonality, but we can all be whoever we want to be. And it's so different and forever thankful to have experienced it.
Yes, there is nothing like it. Nothing like it. Graduate of Hampton, which we have this little rival with Howard, but we're all the same. It's all the same. We love you guys. But oh my gosh, you described it so well. Being in an environment where everyone looks like you, but yet you find out, well, we're all different. Like we're not a monolithic group of people. Like there's different. I can be myself in this environment, and so there's nothing like it. And so, but I mean, that's not for everybody, right, Morgan?
Well, actually, I I do now go to the University of San Francisco, but I'm actually planning on transferring to Howard. So, yeah.
What? I'm so excited. Yay. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about that and why you decided to make the change.
So I'm really glad that I went to San Francisco in the first place. Like I definitely honestly like a big reason I didn't even really apply to like Howard in the first place, like in high school, was because I kind of wanted to like make my own way and
Yeah.
follow in Taylor's footsteps, which I mean, great footsteps, and
Yes.
she's a wonderful like person to follow. But yeah, I just wanted to like kind of make my own way, and I'm really glad that I did go that far. But just as I've been there, I realized like the classes, like since I'm in history, the history classes are really good, but they just don't feel like they're for me. Like we're just learning things that like I already know and experience as a Black person. And so it's like, I just want to go somewhere where I feel like I'm actually going to learn stuff instead of like kind of feeling like I'm being used as an example,
Wow.
So, yeah. And so that was kind of like, and also just with DC having like so many more museums and like access to US history, which is what I want to focus on, like it just felt like such a better opportunity.
Yes.
And also to be closer with Taylor and to like closer to home, like it just is kind of perfect. So
It is perfect. I am so happy. This is exciting news. This is so good. You guys will be together. And Taylor's been there so she can show you what, the ropes there and all of that. And you just described it so well about the history and US history. I mean, you're in the perfect place. I think that is ideal. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. So right now you're in what year in San Francisco?
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, so you're gonna transfer junior, senior year to Howard. Okay. Oh my goodness. And still you're gonna do history, still the major.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna add maybe like a secondary education minor, still figuring that all out. But
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is such great news. See, guys, I'm finding these things. I'm just catching up with them in the interview. This is awesome. So, oh my goodness. So, talk to us a little bit about, and both of you can chime in on this, about some of the challenges that you had that you didn't know that you were going to have as you transitioned out of your parents' house and going into even just college, just some of the things that you were like, okay, I didn't know about this and I wish I knew this, or if you had to do it over, you'd probably do it a little different. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Kind of one for me that seems obvious, but like at the time you don't really realize. It's just that all your decisions are your own. Like, and
Mm.
that's two sides of it. It's great because when you're on your own for the first time, you're like, wow, I can walk out and I don't have to tell anybody where I'm going or what time I'll be back. And it's just all on your own. But at the same side of that, like you're living in your own apartment and like the dishes are dirty and you're like, who's about to clean those? Oh wait, I have
These
to.
dishes, right? Oh
It's
God.
really just everything. Like it's all you. There's no
Mhm.
like parents there to be like, make sure you do this. Like you gotta be that for yourself to make sure you're on top of everything you need to be doing. Make sure you're going to class, making sure you're doing your homework. Even after that, waking up every single day and going to work. Like they're not gonna be like, oh, you don't feel like coming today? Oh well.
Right. Right. They're not going to write you an excuse note. No.
Exactly. It's really just having to be so responsible for everything that happens to you, both good and bad, has
Yeah.
been a really big transition, but at the same time, really exciting and very freeing.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. What about you, Morgan?
I guess to that point, I think I have it a little bit easier because I have an older sister that, went through all this first. So I feel like whenever I am super stuck in a decision, I kind of run it by Taylor first and I'm like, what do you think?
Right.
That helps me. But I guess like to that, I just didn't realize that like how kind of weird it is, like uncomfortable at first to like actually really have like everything is in your control. Like you just
Right.
have to worry about yourself. And like Taylor was saying, it is nice.
Yeah.
And I think especially like leaving like Fishers, leaving like the suburbs where things kind of feel very like scripted and like just like you're in this bubble, like it was very nice to be able to just like have more options. And I
Mhm.
think and the options can be overwhelming but it is like really nice to have them and just be able to like you know do
Yeah.
what you want.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that's one of the pluses of going to college. I mean, you do get to make your own decisions and you get to go where you want to go and you get to hang out with who you want to hang out with. Um, but at the same time, you get to go where you want to go and you get to hang out with who you want to hang out with. You got to deal with it, right? And you got to wake up and go to class and it's a lot. It can be a lot. I mean, I struggled with. I had an 8 o'clock class that I did not do well in because I was not getting up and no one was telling me go to class. And I lived off campus and I didn't have a car my freshman year, so I had to walk to class at 8 o'clock. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
not gonna work. And so you learn things about yourself where you're like, you know what? Okay, I don't need to schedule an 8 o'clock class because I know I'm not gonna get up. So okay, I need afternoon classes. And so you have to start making those type of decisions for yourself too. So that's huge as well. Okay, let's talk about advice for some girls younger, or even your younger self. Fishers, you made a great point. Fishers to me is like Smallville. Like it is like a perfection place. When I first came to
Mm.
I was like, what is going on? People are riding their bikes with their family down the street. Like, what is this? Why are families walking together? Like I was tripping. I could not believe just how perfect. Oh my gosh. And when I go back, I went back to visit a couple of weeks ago for my sorority. I'm still a part of my sorority up there. And I miss the simplicity of Fishers. I mean, it's a simple place. Everybody kind of doing their thing. You go to school, you go to work, you go home, you spend time with your family. And it's great. It's a great place to raise your children. I think to grow up there, I think it was great. And I'm sure you miss some of that simplicity. But if you're talking to someone who's in a Fishers type situation, who's living and then they're about to graduate, what advice would you have for a young girl who's about to figure out or about to graduate?
I think definitely keeping an open mind. I
Hmm.
think very much coming from a place like Fishes where everyone kind of thinks the same, like there's not a lot of different worldviews just among the people that live there. Going somewhere else where everybody's different and there's all this stuff happening all the time and like everything's just frantic and you meet all kinds of new people you've never even known existed before. I think just embracing it all with open arms, taking it all in, being open to learning new things or even just challenging things you already thought you knew before.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you're that young, like growing up and going somewhere new, you definitely think you know a lot more than you actually do.
Yes, you do.
And coming and accepting the fact that you really don't know that much makes it easier to just be a sponge for all kinds of different thoughts and people and views.
Yeah, for sure. And what about you, Morgan? You went, wait, Morgan said, listen, I'm going far away from y'all as I possibly can.
Opposite coast.
I'm going to California. How about that? So
Yeah.
talk to me about that and the decision to do that and what you thought once you got there.
Well, I guess my advice would be to push yourself and to like go that far. I think also like really after the pandemic, that's what really kind of shifted my worldview because I was like, life is way too short for me to stay like, you know, in Indiana my whole life or somewhere else, like, and just not be able to experience like something that I've wanted to experience my whole life, you know? And so, and I'm like coming, like, I do like struggle with like anxiety and like I can be shy sometimes and like I'm pretty introverted. And so I know that like there were a lot of like doubts kind of cast on me. Like, I feel like some people didn't really think I'd be able to, you know, go that far and like do the thing, you know, but really like you just have to go with your gut. You just have to push yourself. And I just luckily like have such a great like support system that it really like I was super duper homesick. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. First semester was really tough, like with just how homesick I was. But just like with my support system and then with like the friends that I ended up finding there at school too, like it just made it all so worth it. So yeah, I would say push yourself, but go with your gut and like know what you're comfortable with, but also you can go a little bit outside of what you're comfortable with and like you'll be okay.
Yeah. And you know what I like, Morgan, that you did that you made the decision to go to California, and you did it. You did the thing, but you said, okay, I experienced this. I need something more. And you weren't afraid to make that change, especially at such a young age, because I think sometimes when we make decisions like that, we feel like we're stuck in them and we feel like, oh, well, I got to stick this out. I got to stay here all 4 years. But you said, no, I want to make the change. Talk to me a little bit about the decision making in that.
Yeah. So it honestly like came on really quickly. Like it was honestly within a day that I kind of was like, Howard. And then I talked to Taylor, I talked to my mom, I talked to like a bunch of other people. But like, and sometimes when decisions do come on that quickly, I do like to like sit with them to make sure this isn't just like a impulsive thing. But it really did like once I started working things out and like seeing how this would be so much better, making a pro and con list, like it just everything lined up and I was like, this is a really good decision. And I guess again to my point of like the pandemic really shifting my mindset, I just like you said, there's really no point for me to just kind of stick it out when I know that there's something that could be better. And I just don't really want to kind of waste time like staying in something that I'm used to when I could go somewhere else that just has a lot more of what I want.
Yeah, that's such a huge thing to know and to learn and to do at such a young age. I mean, you have people my age who are still like, well, I'm just got to do it. I had to make this decision. I got to stay here. And you're like, no, this was great. I'm not negating what I got here, but okay, I need to make some changes. And to do the pros and cons lists, we had our son do that. When he changed, he went the opposite. He went from Hampton to Georgia State. He didn't enjoy the time he was there. So we had him write the same thing out, write the pros, write the cons. And then he made that decision. So yes, you thought about it and you said, okay, this is what's best for me at the time. That is so huge. What a congratulations. I mean, I just think that is a very big girl decision. Okay. Wow. All right. So let's talk about future plans and things that you have going on. So Taylor, you're in communications, which I love. Just Taylor, I feel like is I call her my mini me because we love the same things. Morgan too. But Taylor is communications. I mean, I just feel like she went to an HBCU, and it wasn't like we had these conversations. We talked about, yeah, it wasn't like Taylor, do this. It just happened that way. She just happened to do some of the same things and some of the same interests and some of the things that I did. So I just love that. So you're working for a major, you said newspaper or news outlet, not paper. What are you doing exactly?
Like digital media. So I work in the advertising, like revenue side of the publication. So
Okay.
not really touching the newsroom, but more on like revenue building and advertising type side.
Okay.
And I'd say it's fine for what it is right now. I wouldn't say I'm like super obsessed and like excited to like climb the ladder and all that.
Mhm.
But I definitely am learning a ton about just like corporate life and like having a job and just learning about what I do want to be doing and what I definitely don't want to be doing
Right.
down the line.
Mhm.
On the side, I recently opened up my own Etsy store. So I've been trying to pour more into like my art and stuff, just
Yeah.
kind of seeing what happens with that. So I guess in certain ways, I'm using like my 9 to 5 to like build the stepping stones for like being able to do what I want to be doing in the future.
Mhm.
So it
Very
takes
fun.
patience and it can be really frustrating at times to feel like, why am I doing this? Like,
Yeah.
but just knowing that there is time and I don't have to have everything figured out right now and I don't have to be in love. Like, I'm just more than anything grateful to even have a job right now because I know I've had a lot of friends that graduated either when I did or like a year after me that were just really, really struggling in the job market to find something in their field or even otherwise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just being thankful that I even have the opportunity to be working and establishing a career right now and just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, because you graduated right after, well, we were in the midst
Hmm.
of quarantine and all that.
Yeah, I
Right? Like,
graduated in my living room.
wow. I mean, that, yeah, I can only imagine how tough that was to be going through that as a student, as a senior
Yeah, it was
graduating,
very
and
tough.
we didn't know what was going on. Like we didn't know we didn't know what this was going to look like 2023, and they were even saying, "Oh, things won't be back to normal till like 2024." People were saying that. I was like, "What?
Yeah.
2024? Are you kidding me?" Like it just sounded crazy. So, I can only imagine graduating at that time.
Yeah, I'm still grieving a lot of like the end of my college experience because it just ended so abruptly. And then it suddenly was like, all right, now you're in the world of this
Yeah.
new normal. You like just figure it out.
Kick you out the nest, just figure it out. But you're figuring it out, and the thing is you had no choice. Like you had to
Exactly.
figure it, you had to figure it out, and you're doing it, which is great. I mean, you have a job and you sound very mature about, hey, I don't have to be totally in love with this. I can learn what I can learn from here and then take that to the next thing that I do. And also, you said something very key is to still work on your passions. We're going to connect your Etsy store to our in our story notes so people can check her out, y'all. I got some jewelry from her. She is amazing. So I think that is very key to still do, especially you both being creatives. Like we still all have to still do the things that spark us and that bring us joy. That may not be your job, but the job can help feed or fuel the other things that you're doing. So Morgan, I know you like to crochet. I'm hearing is this is new. I didn't know this. So this is this is great. So talk about some of the things you like to do on the side besides what you're doing in school.
Yeah, so I started crocheting in like 2020, I think. It was definitely a quarantine project for me.
Yeah, yeah.
um, and for the longest time, I didn't want to sell any crochet things because I just felt like that would take the fun out of it. And
Yeah.
it was just like, I just was like still learning. I just wanted to kind of like try it out.
Mhm.
And then freshman year, of college, I started selling crochet things just because San Francisco is expensive. And I was like, I need a little bit more money.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I started selling crochet things and mainly like my friends would buy them. And now I just really have an Instagram. I don't have like an Etsy or website or anything, but I just have an Instagram. But a few weeks ago, I did my first pop-up at just like a business in San Francisco. They let me set up outside and I sold quite a bit of things. And then I have another pop-up through a school club in like 2 weeks. So it's really like taking off, which is really nice.
That's great. Like, what type of things are you making? Are you crocheting?
Yeah, I mainly make hats. I like to do like cat hats, the ones that you kind of put it on and it looks like cat ears. And then I like making beanies, some like fingerless gloves, headbands. And I also make these like animal ear bonnets. So like I like cows, bears, things like that. So just kind of like cute like headwear accessories. That's what I like to make.
Guys are so talented. I love it. We'll put her Instagram in the story notes as well so you guys can connect and get some of her crochet items. I'm just so impressed with you guys. You guys are just, a parent's dream. I'm sure your parents are so proud. Now, let's talk about future, way future. Okay, so I'll be 53 this year, y'all. So think way ahead. 50. Woo, that just when I was your age and listen, I thought 50. I was like, that's old. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 50 is like grandma. Like, I just really thought that's old. That's the best way I can describe it. And here I am at that age, and I'm like, I can't believe. First of all, I'm grateful, thank God, because a lot of people forget, we get older, but that's the goal. Like, we want to get older, right? So we're not age bashing or anything, because I think to get to this age and beyond is a blessing. Mm-hmm. But you want to think about, okay, what is it that I would like to be doing when I'm in my 50s? Where do we all kind of imagine where we think we'll be, and life does its life thing. So you never know. But where do you see yourself, Taylor? When you look at your future self, what do you see yourself doing?
I've been thinking about this a lot more recently.
Okay, good.
Kind of in passing, but every time I think about it, it's never anything like super specific.
Okay.
I don't see myself in any specific place in the world. Like, I could literally be anywhere. Mm-hmm. It's the simple things. I want to be somewhere. I want to be happy. I want to be surrounded by people that love me, like my animals, my plants, and like a room full of art. Money thing is a weird thing because obviously money is important, but I want to be where I don't have to be like super stressed about it. Mm-hmm. I'm not having giant billionaire dreams or anything like that, just enough to be comfortable and do the things I want to do. I definitely want to travel a lot and see the world. Mm-hmm. Career-wise, I really don't know. I've never had big, like super driven career ambitions. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I would be working for myself. That'd be probably most ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Nothing specific, just overall happy, healthy, and doing what I want to do.
I love that. That's good. I think that's good. What about you, Morgan?
Yeah, I'd say like pretty similar. I just turned 20, like not even a week ago. So that has been like, it's just weird to wrap my head around that. Like, wow, what? I'm 20.
I'm having a hard time. I can't believe you're 20. So I'm like, what?
So that's definitely like, I don't even know what I'm doing right after college. And so it is really hard to like look so much further ahead. But I think when I do kind of look into the future, it's kind of the same, more of like a feeling. Like, I just want to be like content. I want to be like with friends and family. I want to be doing like, I don't know, something with music. I have been wanting to talk to you about this because I know you're a radio DJ and I'm doing my school's college radio. So, and that's been really cool.
That's why your mom did hit me up about that. Somebody hit me up. Was you Taylor? Somebody was like, you need to check her out. I was like, okay.
Yeah, so I mean that would be really fun because I'm also interested in like music history and just like I just want to be doing something with music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to like be able to be at that age and be like proud of all the things that I've done and like look back and be like, yeah, I didn't waste any time. I had a great time.
Oh my gosh. You guys just make me want to cry because you you guys are so awesome. No, seriously, I just think I mean you get it. You're getting it. You're doing it right. Everything that you're saying right now, I feel you're doing it right. And I like that. You know that this is how I want to feel when I'm 53. This it doesn't have to be a particular thing. And I think that's the right attitude to have because that will lead you in the right things that you will end up doing because it's based on how you're going to feel and how you want to just be in life at that time. So, man, I know you guys are going to be great. I don't have any doubt about it. You're doing so great. And I know adulting is not easy, but there's no handbook, right? There's no book where we can say, hey, here, Taylor, here, Morgan, here's a book on, how to do this thing because it's different for everybody. And then throw in a pandemic, we were like, huh? We didn't know what to do either. So we're all trying to figure this thing out together. But I think you guys are pretty, you're doing pretty good. You should feel confident.
One of the most comforting things about it all, though, is growing up and learning that also everyone else is just figuring it out.
Yeah.
I feel like it's so easy to look at people and like want to think that everyone's like doing the right things or got it figured out. But at the end of the day, everybody is literally winging it. So that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Literally, everyone is just winging from the president on down. Like we have titles we know, but we're literally just going day by day. We take our knowledge that we have from the past. Obviously, we use that. But day by day, you're just kind of just figuring it out. Learn from your lessons from the past. We understand life by looking at it backwards. We don't know life. Life is not defined by looking forward. It's defined by looking back. So you understand more about it as you look back. So as you look at your Fisher's upbringing and the things that you learned in college and your transition to California, all of those things are teaching you and leading you to where you're going to go. Take those lessons with you because they're important. I guess that's a part of adulting. But, it doesn't get easier per se. I mean, for someone talking back to you guys as someone in their 50s, I mean, it's great. It's a great ride. Take the lessons, but it's not going to get easier. So enjoy the things that you enjoy, do the creative things that you do. Keep dancing, keep crocheting, keep, doing art, do the things that you love to do. And that will keep you centered in this adult thing. Cause yeah, it ain't daddy. And keep loving on your parents, go back. Don't forget about Fishers, go back and visit them. Like you guys are there right now, right? Are you in Fishers now? Where are you guys?
DC right
Oh,
now.
you're in DC. Okay, you're in DC. So you're visiting. Oh, did you go to Howard while you were there?
We got back right before this podcast.
I love it. That was the first school I went to, Black College Tour. I went to visit Howard first before Hampton. And I had a great time at Howard. I was like, I actually got into Howard first. I got accepted to Howard first. And then I went to Hampton for a tour. And for me, when I got off the camp, I could just feel, you just have a feeling, you just feel it. It's like I'm sure you guys felt for where you guys are. So I just felt, I was like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. I mean, it was nothing really different. I mean, it was just a feeling. I just felt it was a rainy, cloudy, gloomy day. And it was like, we're in the tour and the umbrellas, and I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. I could just
That's how you know.
That's how you know. That's how you know. So I'm just excited about you guys. You guys really gave some great advice. And I mean, even for adults listening, I'm sure they picked up some things from what you guys are saying because, the pandemic really made us kind of have a perspective of Morgan, for you to be 20 years old saying life is short? Like, wow, because, a lot of 20-year-olds feel like I got forever. I'm good, I can
Yeah.
do whatever I want. And for you to kind of say, you know what, I need to make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing and I don't have time to waste. And
Yeah.
so I like that, and that you are living your dreams. You're going to Howard. Good luck at Howard. I'm going to come to DC and visit y'all. We're going to have some fun. You're going to hang out with a 50-year-old. We're going to have a ball. So it's going to be great. So thank you guys so much for joining me today on the podcast. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys.
Love you too. Miss you all the time.
Yeah, I miss you too. I miss you too. This is how I really like to end my podcast. I want you to each talk to your younger self. It could be the 7th grade Taylor and the 7th grade Morgan. That would be fun because I knew them. And I want you to talk to her and you say one sentence. You say, "Hey girl," and just give her an encouraging word. What would you say to that young girl, Taylor? And you can start it by saying, "Hey girl."
I would say, hey girl, just keep doing your best. That's all you can do.
That's right. Good. What about you, Morgan?
I would say, hey girl, you do not need to rush through everything. You are okay.
You are okay. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And this has been the Hey Girl Podcast. Until next time, bye-bye. Aren't they such a joy? I just love them so much. They are so wise beyond their years. Make sure you check the show notes for their Instagram page and their Etsy pages so you can support them. Also, if you want to see this interview, some of you may be watching it now, but if you want to see it, you got to head on over to YouTube. And I'm going to put that up this week as well. But thank you so much for listening to our interview. I finally got it out, y'all. And remember, hey girl, let's go.